Hello, I'm Iain Dale from LBC. Now I've got apparently my best bits on this laptop in front of me.
You sold them to drug dealers.
I did.
I'm tempted to end the call now.
People just love it when they all speak at once, don't they?
Do you know?
Yeah.
She'll never say it. She'll never say it.
I'm going to have to go there, ladies and gentlemen.
I've always wanted to be on Gogglebox, and this is probably about the nearest that I'm going to get. Sit tight. Here we go.
These XL bullies is a different breed, trust me.
But why do you breed them?
Because I absolutely love dogs. I love dogs. I'm passionate about dogs. Absolutely.
We'll breed Jack
passionate.
Russells then.
Jack Russells. I've had 3 Jack Russells. I remember growing up. Little Bobby Harrison, we called him. Loved him to bits, but any type of dog, however, XL bullies. I'm sorry, Ian. Let's not beat around the bush. The people who own these dogs, the very vast majority, not all, I'll be honest, not all, but a lot of them, they walk around, not with leads, selling
It's got
things.
nothing. No, I'm sorry, this has got nothing to do. This may have a little bit to do with Leeds, but that's not the whole story. I'm going to ask you a question now. When you decided to breed this type of dog, who were you aiming them at? Who did you want to sell them to, and who did you sell them to?
That's what I call a brilliant question, even if I say so myself.
Drug dealers. I'll be absolutely honest, Ian.
You sold them to drug dealers.
I did. And
Well,
you know what, Ian?
I'm tempted to end the call now.
Sometimes you need a sixth sense, and my sixth sense was that he was going to say something a bit dodgy, and he did.
No, I've always said this. Why do you need a licence for a dog and not for a cat? Because cats can't
Sorry,
drive.
you've just admitted that you bred them to sell them to drug dealers. What kind of person does that make you?
Ian, who's going to put bread on the table for my family? I've got 6 kids.
Oh, go to hell, David.
I don't think in 13 years, I've ever told a listener to go to hell, but believe me, I've been tempted on a few occasions. So someone basically ripped up your letter and wrote a different one, presumably with your signature on the bottom.
I think what they did was they crossed out the name, Michael Grade, and wrote the name Stephen Gilbert in on my advice note.
And who do you think did that?
I'm never going to say because...
do you know? Never. As Ian Paisley would say, never!
Yeah.
Never! Why won't you say?
I do know. Yeah, I do know.
Why won't you say? She'll never say it. She'll never say it. Only the most skilled interviewer in the country could get her to say it.
Well, I believe that it was Dougie Smith.
Never is a long time, isn't it? 11 seconds.
Only 20 minutes from the palace is people starving on Wharf Road. It is an insult to us.
You purport to speak
insult.
for a huge number of people, but I would suspect a lot of the people that you think you're speaking on behalf of are actually devout monarchists.
Let me tell you one thing. This generation that's coming up, if you need to come into the real world. Get on the internet.
Yeah. Real world, internet. I don't need to get on the internet. I talk to people every day on this programme.
Go on Instagram. Look on the Shade Borough. Look at the Black Youth. You need to know.
I'll talk to real people on my show, thank you, Cheryl.
You say, oh, it's so bad. They're going to food banks. Oh, it's so terrible. Everyone's a hard time. If you actually cared about their political prospects and the future of their political lives, you would have taken seriously the challenge that Brexit set the British political class. Unfortunately, it has been squandered, and I'm miserable about that. But what I will not accept is that it's somehow our fault, that it's the fault of voters in Bolton or in Tottenham or all the places where there's...
Sorry, nobody has said that.
For you to sit here, hang on a minute.
Nobody has said that.
People just love it when they all speak at once, don't they?
You are putting words into people's mouths and then saying that they're our views and they are not. This is ridiculous.
For you to sit here and scoff and say...
I'm not scoffing. I want to know what you do better. I'm still asking this, but Ian's going to dumb this up again. I want to know what will change.
I'm going to tell you all to shut up because we have to go to the news.
So at a moment like that, as a presenter, you've got a choice to make. You just let them go at it, which on the radio doesn't sound good. If people are watching on Global Player, it's fine because they can see all the interaction. But sometimes you just have to call a halt to it. Most of the time on my show, people behave. But that was one example where they didn't.
Homosexual
homosexual gay values, if you like, are imposed.
Homosexual gay values. Do we need to say it twice? What are those values? How are they different to anybody else? I suspect that's what I'm about to say.
Across the board, at government level, sport, in schools, I mean, children are being taught and confused about all these genders that they might be. It's actually an abuse of children.
So basically, gay people shouldn't be radio presenters, should they, because they might influence people to be gay?
No.
That got him.
Gay people can be in any job. They can be in any job.
Thank you.
And that's part of the course. But at the same time, I don't think the homosexual ideology should prevail to the level.
Sorry, what is the homosexual? Oh my God! I'm going to have to go there, ladies and gentlemen. Jim? What is the homosexual ideology?
It is to say that in schools, children are to be taught that being homosexual is the same, is an equivalent of being heterosexual, and that homosexual marriage is the same as heterosexual marriage. It isn't.
Well, the law says it is.
It isn't. Doesn't matter what the law says. Two men can't have. Elton John and his partner can't have a baby together. They have to pay
they have had one.
thousands of pounds to a
In fact, I think they've had 2 or 3.
surrogate mother, and then they don't put her name on the child's certificate.
But that would have been Jim. Stop. That would have been illegal 30 years ago because gay people weren't allowed to adopt children or have children through IVF, and they are now. Presumably, you don't think that's a good thing?
I don't. I disagree with homosexual people. If you can't have a child naturally, I don't think... I don't want to go... you probably don't want...
Sorry, at this stage, can I just apologise to all of the people that I've persuaded to be homosexual, just to get that out of the way?
Me to go in describing the various actions that homosexual people are having or do have.
Oh, I know them all, Jim. I don't need you to tell me about them, but thank you very much indeed.
They can't conceive a child between the two of them.
This is true.
I remember about 10 years ago, I had a call from Margaret in Glasgow, and she was going along a similar line, sort of saying, well, it's disgusting what these gay people do, it's sodomy and all the rest of it. And I let her go on for about a minute. And then in the end, I said, Margaret, before you dig yourself any deeper, you do realise you're talking to one, don't you? And she said, oh, I don't mean you, Iain. Which says it all, doesn't it, really? Well, those were just a few excerpts from my best bits of 2023. If you go to Global Player or the LBC YouTube channel, you can find an hour-long version with much more to get your teeth into. And of course, we'll have much more of that in 2024.